Okay, so whatever time it is, good afternoon, good morning, good evening. I'm happy to be here for this virtual induction presentation. My name is OBIDOA. I'm the head of strategy and brand communication for CHUKWUEMEKA Bank. As a ritual, it is understood that for every newbie that comes into the bank, we have to go through a process of induction. And I'm saddled with the responsibility to take you on strategy implementation and branding. So you ask yourself, what is a strategy in the first place? What is a strategy? What do you say the strategy is? In layman terms, I would say a strategy is a plan of action. But let's see professionally what the strategy is. What is a strategy? We've heard the word strategy here and there, everything about strategy, what strategy, the market has talking about strategies, business has talking about strategy, even the football fan teams talk about strategy, a winning strategy. What then is a strategy? What is a strategy? Simply put, it's a coherent response to a challenge. Coherent means it's together, coherent response, put together response to a challenge. The challenge could be anything. The challenge could be you want to achieve this, you want to achieve that, you put the actions in place, that's a strategy. In other words, in the layman term, I could say strategy is a plan of actions. But how be it, let's not confuse strategy and tactics, because people over time confuse strategy and tactics. Tactics itself is the action, but the plan of action is the strategy. I probably would say that the whole topic is on strategy implementation of branding. So I would say that if you're changing your brand perception, that is a strategy. If you're changing the overall outlook of your brand perception, that's a strategy. But if you're putting your brand on a billboard, then that's a tactics. Should you now see the difference? Okay. It's easier for us to understand and not confuse ourselves with strategy and action. Okay, before we go further, it's understood that survey and scientists have revealed that the normal attention span of any average human being is 20 minutes. So keep this within 20 minutes. So that I'll have you focus and I'll have you here for this presentation. Okay, it's a number of slides, about 21 slides, but I'll take it all encompassing all at once. I will take word by word or slide by slide. I need to understand the basics of what we are doing. Okay, so strategy itself, like it's professional, is a coherent response to a challenge. Now, the implementation is the stage where the real action is. Set of activities where the action plan is changed into strict performance in organization. Because the microfinance bank every year selects a group of people to meet and discuss the strategy for the following year. What with plans, what with actions to achieve a corporate strategy following year. Like this year, 2024, we had said we would achieve a portfolio about 2 billion and 1.47 billion in deposits. That was the strategy, corporate strategy for the year 2024. So they meet and have a set of actions to achieve that strategy. The implementation itself is a stage where these things are put into play, put into performance. So that's how it is. Now you understand that it doesn't take one person to do all this. It's a collaborative operation, and everybody has to come together, whether you're the management staff, whether you're a loan officer, whether you're in the IT department, whether you're in a teller, your operations, you all have to come together to achieve that strategy. It's like the whole human body. You want to move to somewhere, you want to walk to somewhere. You must understand that the hands will have to come together, the brain, the mouth, the legs, collectively to get to where you're going to. So that's how it is in an organization. Let's look at a few nuggets about strategic implementation. Implementation itself deals with the issue of who, where, when, and how to achieve a business objective. During the process of this implementation, the whole organization is involved in a collaborative operations. Okay, operation. The loan officer will come with whatever he comes or he or she comes with from the market, from your own space, for the operations person to do what they are supposed to do. And you come with the policy, all to achieve the overall. So that stage where this is put into action is the implementation of the strategy we had earlier met to discuss on how to go further. That's how it is. Now, why do we have to even implement a strategy? Few points. It drives alignment. It ensures every department contributes to the overall goal. Okay, it creates value. That's the whole idea. We look at what drives our success as a bank. You will see increase in shareholder funds, shareholder value, because when you increase the value of shareholders, it brings about welfare to the employees. So I'm saying that why strategy matters is it creates value, the other outcomes that resonates with customers and stakeholders. It provides a framework to track performance. Okay, you have to plan where you're going. You have to plan where you're going to be. What are you going to do? So when you have a strategic framework, you can track its performance and make adjustments. Example of such, we have had adjustments. Example of such, earlier, 2021, COVID came, and firms, organizations have to adjust their strategy to fit into what was prevailing at the time. That led to things like remote working and KPIs to track remote working. So those are these few adjustments, to make progress, to measure progress. So that's why we see this matter, because it bridges the gap and translates plan into tangible results. Okay, now how do you implement? What are the process of implementing a strategy in an organization? 5 things come into play for every strategy to be executed successfully. Of course, in an organization you need people, you need resources, you need structure, and you need culture. Robots won't do the work. Even if you are in the eras of the AIs and the computer, machine learning, you need people. Not just people, you need skilled people. I will not employ a soldier to do an IT work. So you need people. Okay, you need resources to carry out this. You bring an IT person into your department to work on a strategy for you, and there's no system. How's that going to work? So you need resources. You need structure and systems, reporting lines, attitude, and you need the right culture to perfectly execute the strategy. A winning culture. The culture that brings about accountability, ownership, a winning culture. There's a book written by, I can't remember the author, that says culture eats strategy for breakfast. So you must have the right culture to execute strategies. So I'm saying in all of this, for you to implement a strategy, you need the people, you need the resources, you need the system, and the culture. Let's bring it down home. I'm saying that if you need to cook your food, if you need to make your dinner, you need to have the resources to get things, to get your dinner ready. You as a person will have to go there, go to the market, you have your plan worked out. You need resources, you need money, you need structure, you need to go there, meet your vendor. Then of course, if you have a culture of winning, you need to know that you have to prepare your dinner and you have to eat your food. So in all of this, I'm saying to properly execute a strategy, you need these 5 support pillars: the people, the resources, structure, systems, and culture to properly execute your strategy. This is what I have elaborated in these slides. I'm saying people, you need the people with the right skill and competency. You need the resources, that's the funding and time. You need the structure, I'm saying the right attitude, the tools to support the implementation of this strategy. Then of course, the culture of business, influence, policy, execution. So that's the 5 pillars you have to hinge on to properly execute a strategy. Okay, I'm saying that the culture of accountability boosts motivation and leads to improved performance. So when people feel inspired, they can contribute positively to an overall overarching perspective of a firm. Now, what leads to failure of strategic implementation in a firm? When there's a disconnect between the management and the people that want to execute the strategy. I'm saying when the discouraging management and employee, this could lead to failure in strategic implementation. Poor leadership can also lead to, when the leader of a firm is not, the leader of an organization is not firm in their decisions, it can also lead to poor execution of strategy. Also, most importantly, is a lack of communication between team members and a confusing plan. I cannot say I want to go to, you're very conversant with Calabar, and you're conversant with where the head office is. I come out of the head office and I'm going to Watts Market, where Watts Market is. And you're telling me as a leader that to go to Watts Market, I have to pick a bus that's going to 8 miles. It's a confusing plan. I don't understand. Okay, so your plan must not be confusing. You must have a plan that is straightforward and easy to achieve. So that's it. Okay, then you must own whatever part you want to. Lack of ownership is also a factor that leads to failure of strategic implementation. So, in all of this, I'm saying that for a strategy to be executed perfectly, you need the people, okay, you need the resources, you need the structure, you need the systems, and of course the culture. So we now understand what strategy is. We said plan of action to achieve an overall aim, coherent response to a challenge. We understand what implementation is, the stage for it to achieve this, and we now know what could lead to failure of strategy. As simple as that. I'm not going to bother you with all the number of slides for you to see that this is that. Have that at the back of your mind. Every other thing is just an appendage to the overall purpose of this course. Now, recall earlier I had said strategic implementation and branding. What is branding? We've heard so much about brand. That's my brand. Oh, that's my car brand. I love that car brand. I love Toyota. I love Honda. I love Hyundai. I love Mercedes. That's my brand. Oh, my brand. I love Samsung. I don't like Samsung. I love Apple. I love Techno. People are just concerned about brand. Oh, no. I don't take Pepsi. I take Coca-Cola. Oh, no. I don't like Crispy. I like Mr. Beats. These are brands. What's a brand? What is that identity? That's that story a company makes. Company tells its audience, its target audience. Okay, the overall aim of a brand is to enter space in the mind of the target audience. Some brands do come up with very important jingles. Some brands come up with important, very inspiring and very nice jingles. Music, we must not rule out the part of music in branding. That's why it is proven that the music plays a long way in recall, because after all said and done in the day, at the back of your mind, in your quiet corner when you're trying to sleep, that music plays back. Okay, so what's the whole thing about branding? Is that identity. You as a person, you have your brand. People know you for something. Good or bad, you have a brand. People know you for something. So, as an organization, people need to know us for something. We need to be the preferred go-to firm when you think of microfinance, when you think of banking. That's the reason for branding. Look at all this. You have all these slides. These are brands with their logos and their colors. And trust me, the choice of colors, the choice of logos are very deliberate and very intentional. If you get sacked, if you change the logo, so people are very concerned because their color is their brand. If you're a football fan, it will be strange for you to see a club like Manchester United wearing an Arsenal color, or maybe a Chelsea color, or a Liverpool color. It could be one of those things, but they tell you their home color is the red. They even go as far as having the nicknames, the Liverpool, the Reds, the Blues, you see. So people are very particular about the brand. So in front of you now, you have the Netflix, you have Toyota. These are known brands. Some of the known brands. Look at them, you know the story. Okay, like if you look at this, you know this Coca-Cola. You know this FedEx. We think of Korean services, FedEx comes to mind. Netflix, pay TV, LG. Oh, TV, gadgets. You know, Toyota cars, Microsoft, Google. So these are all different types of brands. You could just look at and so ask yourself, what's your own brand? Why do we do branding? Why branding? It creates an identity for a business. Okay. It influences purchasing decisions. It's basically and stated that it's one of the most important assets of an organization. It gives an organization an identity. It makes your business memorable. It encourages also consumers to buy from you. Okay. And some firms, it's their pride. A lot of people, okay, look at it this way. Even us that are not there in that climb, a lot of people proudly on the road do wear their club jerseys. It's their pride. They want to be associated with that brand. So you see, it influences decisions. So that's the importance of branding. It creates an identity for a business. Okay? So branding is that brand name, that logo, that voice, that imagery. Okay? But however, some of these brands, some of these organizations have gone beyond what we can touch to an intangible feeling when you talk about their brand. Okay, they've gone far beyond the names, the logo, the voice, the color, and the imagery. Example, and I also agree, someone will say that, excuse me, someone will say, Coca-Cola don't sell soft drinks, they sell happiness. Someone will say, Apple don't sell phones, they sell innovation. Someone will say Legos don't sell building blocks, they sell creativity. Tesla don't sell electric cars, they sell the future. Nike, the sport brand, don't sell sportwears, Nike sells motivation. So you see where people have gone far beyond the names and the logo. That's what they do. And Apple come out with the phone now, people now wonder, what they want are the game. So that's how it is. Why branding is very important. People don't joke with them. People are very deliberate and very intentional about their brand. Now, if you're aligning brand and strategy, you need to develop narratives that align with your strategic priorities. Okay, some of this branding you see, some of this branding initiatives you see, narratives you see, adverts and stuff you see, they align it with their overall strategic objectives, strategic priorities. That's how they achieve the overall business objective. You know, excuse me, sorry about that. The weather is quite harsh this period. Okay, so you engage with other stakeholders, you equip your employee, because your employees, whether you like it or not, are your immediate brand ambassadors. Now, look at branding like a bank account. For every bad customer experience, for every bad experience a customer feels, it's a withdrawal from your brand account. For every good experience the customer feels when doing business with you, it's a deposit into your brand account. Okay, so we are here looking for deposits. That's why we need to treat your customer well to have a good brand reputation out there. So you need to align your brand communication with strategy. What I have just said, you now understand why the customer care person needs to work well, the teller needs to work well, the loan officer needs to work well with the customer, and every other person involved with the business. If you're in IT, if you're aware, if you don't have that one-on-one customer relationship, you don't have that one-on-one customer interface because of the department you are, whatever you're creating, whatever you're doing, you must allow customer have that feel. Because like I have said, for every good experience your customer have doing business with you, whether online or physical, is a deposit into your brand account. A bad experience is a withdrawal. And of course, it will not be good at the end of the day you have a negative balance in your brand account. That's how it is. Common pitfalls in strategy and communication is when you begin to neglect internal communication. Because if you don't communicate well within the organization, how will I tell people out there what we represent? When there are inconsistent messaging across platforms, it becomes a problem. You need to speak with one front. Then failure to monitor and adapt communication efforts could also are common pitfalls in strategy and brand communication. In conclusion, I would say that strategy implementation drives organizational success. Brand communication ensures that strategic goals resonate with internal and external stakeholders. Clear, consistent message builds trust and loyalty. Okay, so if it's a little game, the overall this let's see if I can play this. Let's see if I can play this. Can I play this for you to watch? I can play this now, but the whole piece here is, as you're coming in, you need to surround yourself with the right people, because as a person, before you came to a condo, you have a target, you have a purpose, and when you're leaving a condo, you're going to also work somewhere. Okay, so getting to the place, you have where you're going to. Align yourself with the right people that will take you there. Alone, you can go faster, but with the right people, you can go further. Okay, it is said that iron sharpeneth iron. This can play now, but I'm trying to make you understand that the purpose of this short clip here, the power of surrounding yourself with the right people, is even in your low states, the right people will motivate you, the right people will take you to where you're going to, the right people will make you create a performance niche for yourself. Because, like I have said, coming into this place, you represent your family, you represent your community, you represent the people you live with, you represent your neighbor, you represent your church, you represent your belief system, and yourself. So you must be good ambassador of your inherent brand, for you become ambassadors of the good brand. That's what I'm saying. So create a functional niche for yourself, create a performance niche for yourself, that at the end of the day, when you leave, it will be said that good and faithful and performing staff have left the bank. So it's on you. What do you want to do with yourself? You want to be a citizen? That's on you. You want to be a high performer? That's on you. It's how you start. I came like you some years back, and I have done what I have done, and I can say that I have put in some effort to be where I am. So you want to come in and just be among others and salary without creating a value for yourself, you wouldn't grow, you wouldn't learn. Okay. While you're here, try as much as possible to increase your cost value. Because a time will come in future, people will pay you for the value you contribute to an organization. So in closing, I would say certified customer is the best business strategy of all. Because what you don't understand about the certified customer is, certified customer, they're always going to be a return purchase, and the certified customer will tell the other person good news about you. Whatever questions you have, you can write it down, and I think it will communicate to you on how to pass this question so that we can answer. Okay, so in all of this, I want to thank you, and I hope either for anything you have learned that it's on you to create value for yourself. Okay, thank you, and have a wonderful day.